The Dice Girls may not know what we're doing, but we're sure having a lot of fun doing it.
Do my bagpipes have, like, attack damage? If I take out my bow, could I miss and hit triggers?
If you roll bad enough.
Have we been able to see the whole time?
You have dark vision! Surprise!
What ho, ugly creature?
Don't mind him. Everyone's dying around me, but I can't hit anything.
Are you guys gonna be okay?
Honestly, I think the answer to that is always no.
Who are you?
We're just some riffraff.
Not anything particularly special. We are the Dice Girls.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts.
I rolled a 4, we're gonna die.
Hello and welcome back to Merely Roleplayers, a podcast where theatrical people play role-playing games. I'm Matt, I am your compere for this season, and let's introduce our cast. Returning, hello Ellie.
Oh, hello.
Remind us of things that you have done in Merely Roleplayers past.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to bring up some kind of personal story. I have been in the famous 5-star adventure where Chris and Dave just did weird stuff and coined the phrase, "That's a new smell." I have been in the Wild West where I think I might have been in an angry mood that day because there was a lot of killing. But then again, you know, Strat accidentally stoved up a man's head in, so it could have been worse.
You did. And you bring a pet to the table often also as well?
Yes, she's often on the table, very annoying. Tilly the cat makes regular appearances, so don't know whether she'll appear today, but she's poised waiting in the wings. Yep.
All right, you've mentioned Strat stoving a man's head in the Wild West, and Strat is back for this season. We'll see if anything like that happens again. Hello, Strat.
Hello, and I totally intend to. I think it'll be very genre appropriate.
Yeah, we'll get to what the genre is in a moment, and we'll see. Remind us of some other stuff that you've done on Merely Roleplayers.
More recently, I've been in space as a strange wobbly alien, which was a lot of fun. I have done, it's quite a few, but I can't forget. Oh, the first one, our ghost story at the Adrienne.
Yeah.
Probably the last time I was actually a theatre company in one of these. Like a proper theatre company in one of these. Right. After that, it's been kind of different things. And then, a very super sneaky spy in Codename Mosaic.
Oh, yeah. You were so sneaky.
So sneaky, and fell off a building.
Oh, yeah.
Spoilers.
And then we've got a couple of new voices. So, Ellen, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, I'm Ellen.
Hi, nice to have you around the table. What you sort of have got involved through Ellie. Can you sort of tell us generally kind of how you're connected to us lot and to Blackshaw Theatre, if you are at all?
Yeah, sure. So I went to university with a large percentage of the members of Blackshaw. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We did some comedy club stuff while we were there, and yeah.
Brilliant to have you on board.
Thank you.
And finally, hello, Natalie Winter.
Hello.
Now, this is a slightly weird one because this is going to be the first time that listeners have heard your voice, but it's not the first recording that you've done with us.
Shh, spoilers. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. You've never met me before.
Recording dates are weird. So let's not do the sneak preview of what you've done on Merely Roleplayers before. But tell us a little bit about you and about your theatre connections and connections to the company, if any.
Sure. I am an actor and voiceover artist. I know Ellie and Strat because I was the March Hare in their production of Alice in Wonderland that Strat wrote and Ellie directed. And just kind of been keeping in touch with Blackshaw since, done a couple of their new writing nights. And yeah, that's me.
This is our cast. Welcome, everybody. So, for this season, we are delving into the genre of the talent contest.
Yeah.
We've got so many talents.
So the setup is going to be that the four of you are a small theatre company, and you are going to be taking part in a national knockout talent tournament in order to win a big prize for something that you care about. My touchstones for this genre are the Muppets, who are always having to do a big telethon to raise enough money to save their theatre or their studios or whatever it is, and Pitch Perfect, the trilogy of movies. Where they don't really have a thing they have to save in those movies. They're just sort of doing it because they want
Their pride.
Yes, that is the one. Does anybody else have like stuff in this genre that they kind of enjoy?
I have something I fiercely don't enjoy in this genre.
Okay.
Oh, yes, you do.
Stuff to...
Dancing dogs.
Oh god.
Dancing dogs in talent contests.
Oh man, he gets so angry about this.
What is it about the dancing dogs that makes you so enraged?
They're just doing it for the food. There's no art.
Aren't we all?
It's the artistic thing you have a problem with, not the ethical thing of forcing animals to do stuff.
Well, I hope I'm optimistic that the people, at least on the like Pudsey and all those, like they seem to enjoy it mostly. They run around a bit, but they're just running around. I think it's just a person running around and a dog following them, and it's impressive. But then you have like people up there doing really, really cool stuff, and then they got beaten by a dog. It's a very lovely dog, and I have nothing against the dog, and I love dogs, and I want a dog. But when I get a dog, I'll let it be a dog, and I won't make it run around after me on two legs.
This is the level of passion that I'm hoping for this story.
The previous rants from Strat have also included the line, "It's not dancing."
Yes, it is not dancing.
Because you're right, it's like trained like assault course type things, but with music, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Coordinated wobbling.
Yeah, and it is impressive.
Keep
but-
it in crufts where it belongs.
Keep it in crafts. That's Strat's campaign line.
Hashtag.
Yes.
Hashtag keep it in crufts.
Bovril and dogs. That's what has come from these series.
I watch very little in terms of talent show, reality TV type stuff like X Factor, that kind of thing. But the reality TV contests that I know are kind of very opposite ends of the spectrum. I like Bake Off and I like Drag Race. Yes. So I kind of the elements of those that might play into this, I'm up for, but I don't really buy into the whole X Factor thing too much.
I think it will be quite triggering for people if you drop your bake. So please don't drop your bake.
All right.
Not
Don't
a
do
solid
it.
bottom.
Yeah, no James Acaster on the show.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
If you roll too low, maybe bin gate.
Baked Alaska.
So I like all of the things that have been aforementioned. I don't get quite as angry as Strat does about those other things, but I understand where he's coming from. But I also indulge in the bad trash end.
Hey, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. There's no
I
judgment.
carefully didn't use that phrase, but it is a bad trash end. You can't argue the point on that one. I do enjoy watching X Factor and Britain's Got Talent. But I watch them in an efficient way. Like I record them and then I fast forward through the adverts and the boring judge commentary bits. I'm really just there for the performance, the initial judge comments, and sometimes indulge in a sob story or two. But it's really a vehicle for cathartic crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if today's story goes in that direction, we are all going to enthusiastically join you in the bin with the track.
Thank you so much. Get in here with me, guys. The water's fine.
So yes, I love the trash. I love the trash. But I do also watch stuff like Pottery Throwdown when that was still a thing. That was great. And I loved, I can't remember his name, but when the judge cries because things are beautiful.
Yes.
Oh God, I love it when people cry. And I do have like a secret love for like a really forced sob story. Like when someone's like, I've just had a really high tax rebate and I want to spend it on getting my mum a pug. I love it. I love it when people find any possible reason to try and like pluck on your heartstrings. It's my favourite thing.
Can you imagine the conversations the producers have with them beforehand? Like, so something bad happened?
And you're like, I stubbed my toe. Really hurts.
Else? Have you got a grandmother we can talk about?
I thought you had, have you got a grandmother we can kill or something? Like you're the producer try.
I mean, maybe we can weave that into our story today.
Did any of you see the X Factor musical?
No, and I don't think many people did, which is why it stopped.
Did it even get past previews?
I don't know, but I had a friend of a friend who was in it, so I did go to see it, and actually it was pretty good. There was some lame comedy in it, but there were some really great moments. But the main character's sub story was that her granddad was in an actual iron lung in their
In an iron lung?
Yeah.
That's how they work.
Is that how they work?
Yeah.
have to
I
be
thought
in
they
it
attached
to
them
work.
too. You have to be.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, in their like tiny flat that was underneath a railway arch, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the kind of levels I'm expecting.
If I'd not seen that, I'd have been really weirded out because I would have thought it was some sort of surreal. He has to be in an iron lung. Like I would have taken that as some sort of surrealist comedy. Like it's so bad we have to put him in the machine because I didn't know that's how it worked. I would have been so confused.
It was very extreme.
I didn't know that was a current day treatment. I thought it was just off of the past.
It is. But it was. The idea was that they were so poor that they
had to have a treatment from the 1940s.
Yeah.
Wow, is that what the NHS do?
Yeah,
If you can't afford the top up costs, you have to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we're going to have to give you a 60-year-old treatment. It's in the bargain bin, so you can afford this one.
Take this bag of leeches home with you and we'll be fine.
Here, have Marvolo's tincture.
Yes.
Guaranteed cure-all.
Bit of trepanning and you're good as
A
gold.
little bit of bloodletting, and we'll get these billows and blow hot smoke up your arse, and then we'll be done.
Tell you what, our GCSE history medicine that I'm assuming most of us did.
No,
that was
I
on the
didn't.
curriculum. Oh, was it just me? Because that was all GCSE history of medicine.
Oh well, I didn't need
You
to do it.
guys would have aced it.
To anyone's knowledge, has there ever been like an actual like X Factor but for theatre? Because there's been like the choir one.
Yeah, there's been Any Dream Will Do and all that sort of stuff.
Of course, for
God.
musical
Yes.
theatre, all of the Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff.
Yeah.
But there's all kind of to find like a star.
Yeah.
Right, as opposed to like
Yeah.
companies competing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it really was a singing
Yeah, it seems to
competition.
really work more on the kind of musical side of things.
Yeah.
Like there have been a couple of theatre acts on Britain's Got Talent before, and it does not work for the format at all.
No.
Right.
There's
Well,
dance competitions are probably the closest thing you'll get when if it's a group.
Right. Well, BBC, if you're listening, this format is for sale. Contact us at Merely Roleplay on Twitter. Shall we fill in our character sheets?
Yeah.
Yes, let's.
They're really simple this time.
Yeah.
You don't even have stats. So names go at the top. Because this is Merely Role Players, we play versions of ourselves. So the name at the top is your name, however you would like to be known. So there is a section on your sheet that says motivation, and there are 4 possible motivations under there. The way this is going to work in this game is, as per usual, when you want to try and do something in the story, and the outcome is in doubt, either it's something that runs a risk of an interesting failure, or somebody is actively trying to stop you doing the thing, you will roll 2 6-sided dice, and you will add some things, which I will explain in a moment. And if you get 10 or above, you succeed, and you get to tell us how you succeed. If you get a 7 to 9, you still get what you want, but I will introduce some sort of complication or catch. And if you get a 6 or below, you will something will go wrong and you will fail. Motivation is basically how it works is your motivation can either be artistry, company, victory, or joy. And I'll explain a bit more about exactly what those mean in a second. But basically, if the thing that you're trying to do, that you're rolling dice to try and achieve, is in line with your current motivation, then you get +1. If it's not, you get -1. So artistry means that you're motivated by wanting to make like the best art possible. You want the performance to be the best it can possibly be. Company means that you're motivated by spending time with friends and wanting everybody to get on. Victory means that you're motivated by wanting to win the competition. And joy means you're motivated just by the pure joy and love of performance and art and that kind of thing. These can change during the game, so your motivation can shift, but at the beginning of the game, you all need to have a different one. So let's just have a discussion about, normally we do the thing where, like, for each person, the rest of the group picks their stats, but because there isn't really stats in this one, it's just you all have to decide which one of them you're going to take at the start. Is anybody particularly drawn to one? Does anybody feel like one particularly applies to somebody else?
I'm particularly drawn to victory.
Are you? I wouldn't have guessed that.
Because what's the point of doing things if you can't win them?
Wow.
Oh, not fair.
I thought you were more a person about integrity.
If it's a competition or a game that could be winning, then you play it to win.
Stratty wants to win.
It's fun to take part, but it's more fun if you've taken part and then win.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
But if anyone else would like victory, I'm not. I can. It's all about playing versions of ourselves. So maybe this time I'm just doing it for the joy. But really, I want to win.
Yeah. I think you've made your position very clear. I don't know.
I like the idea of being that I just want everyone to have fun and have a good time and get along.
Yeah, I mean, that's my default position in life, but it doesn't sound very fun to play.
I don't know.
Like I say, this is only your starting motivation.
Yes,
and
it will change. It can change.
It can potentially change.
I feel like director Ellie would be artistry. You really care about the art.
Yeah, they want to be shit. Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm at the opposite end of the scale from like wanky artistry, but I'm always very hard on that. It will be good. It will not be shit. So yeah, I would be happy to go with artistry as being my.
Okay, Ellen and Nat, are you?
Well, were you going for joy, Nat? Or
Well,
company?
I was thinking more company.
Company,
than,
friends.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just be like, I'm having such a good time. Which is kind of how I feel right now. I'm just like, oh, this is great.
I'm just happy to be here. I came with nothing. A lovely day.
Literally. It feels very accurate to my current state of being, so I'll go for joy.
Okay.
Lovely. Fabulous.
Okay, all right. So Strat begins the game motivated by victory.
Come on!
Ellen begins motivated by joy. Ellie begins motivated by artistry. And Nat begins motivated by company.
Everyone okay with those
Having such a good time.
with those choices.
Yes, I got what I wanted. I won.
So the other areas of the sheet we're not actually going to touch right now, but I will just explain what they are. So there's a series of tick boxes at the bottom labelled life lessons, and you will tick one of these every time you roll a 6 or below a fail. And what you're going to use these for is to change people's minds, motivations, and points of view. So if you open up to somebody in either one of the other players or another character in the story in an attempt to change their mind about something, so that might be to try and make one of your fellow players change their motivation, or it might be to persuade a former rival to become a friend, or it might be to persuade somebody involved in the competition of something. You will roll and you will add all of your built-up life lessons, and they will then all go away. So the more you've failed, the more you're able to persuade people.
Right.
Nice.
But you have to use all of the life lessons. You can't just say, I'm going to use one life lesson on this.
When you
use all.
Yeah, when you persuade someone, you spend all the ones you have banked,
Got you.
and you add that many to the roll. And the reason that you might want to change other people's motivation is that, so you get +1 if the thing that you're trying to do is it according to your motivation. You also get +1 for every other player in the scene with you who shares your motivation.
That's
Right.
nice. That's nice.
Yeah, so the more of you that are kind of motivated by the same thing, working towards the same goal, the easier it is to achieve. So there's no help move in this one. You can't roll to give someone a bonus on their roll, but if your motivation is the same as theirs and you're both working towards the same thing, then you give them a bonus just by being there.
And is that literally your motivation is the same, i.e. you're both on victory or you're both on joy?
Yes.
Right.
There's also a box called support, and that is for other people in the game, so judges, producers, former rivals, helpers, fellow artists, who you have persuaded to help you. And when you persuade somebody to help you, you get to tick one of those support boxes. You write down who they are on the line next to it. And at any point after that, when you roll, you can spend that support and say how that person or group helps you. And your roll goes up by like 1 degree. So it would go up from like a fail to a mixed success or a mixed success to a success.
Cool. So they're pretty powerful then.
Yeah, so it's worth like trying to get people on your side.
Great.
But you gotta fail to do it, because you can't try and do that unless you have life lessons to spend.
Oh, I see.
Right,
So
yeah.
use life lessons to get people into your support box.
Yes.
Are they only in your support box, or is this a team support box?
It's sort of, you can sort of share them around. I prefer the idea that it's kind of, if you are the one that did the persuading, then you're the one that can call on them.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it works in play. If it's starting to feel like you're never getting to use it, then we'll make it more fungible.
Okay.
And that, I think, is all we need to look at on rules recapping right now. So I think that's probably the quickest filling in of character sheets we've ever done on Merely Role Players. Everybody cool on all of that? Any questions about how the rolling and rules stuff is going to work?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll just ask you if we forget.
Of course. Great. Ready to go.
Let's win this thing.
I'm so excited.
Jazz hands.
You've been listening to Merely Role Players with Ellie, Nat, Ellen and Strat as themselves, sort of, playing a game designed and run by Matt using the Powered by the Apocalypse engine. If you enjoy the programme, let us know with a review or rating on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Listen Notes or wherever you do your listening. You can also find us on Twitter at Merely Roleplay and at facebook.com/merelyroleplayers. Merely Role Players is an independent production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Join us for more drama next episode.
Although Ellie and Ellen's going to get confusing,
Oh
isn't it?
no.
Lucky Helen isn't playing as well.
I thought
girl
for a
band.
minute that she was. For some reason, I was like, are we starting without Helen? In my head, I was like, she's coming.
Be like, there's 3 women in this room and we need more.
Yeah, at some point we'll have to do an Ellie, Ellen and Helen episode and maybe like a Chris and Chris episode as well.
Oh no. I mean, that would be actually great, but also, oh no.
Wasn't Kat also on, so we can have a Matt Strat and Kat as well?
Yeah.
And Nat.
And that, yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
of course.
That would be that would be really... No, don't make it happen.
Just the editing.
Listeners, for you, we won't do this. For your sanity.